Shabbat Shalom, praise the Most High. We were having some technical issues for a few minutes, but praise the Most High. It seems to have gotten cleared up at this time. Glory and honor to the Father for all of his blessings upon us and guiding us and directing our paths. Glory and honor to his name who created heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and give us the Shabbat as a day of rest for his people to rest and reflect on him. Praise his holy name. And to the Messiah, YHWH, the atonement for sin sent by the Father, who is now the high priest interceding on behalf of his people. Glory and honor to his name, Messiah, YHWH, whom the Father has given this earth to be his kingdom, and who he will soon establish in the next few years. Glory and honor to Messiah, YHWH. Glory and honor to Father Yahweh. Greetings to the 12 tribes, according to the book, scattered to the four corners of the earth, because we are guilty of worshiping other gods. We are guilty of turning away our backs from the Father's commandments. We are guilty of doing foolishness and going against his prophets and his word. And now, according to his word, according to his own timing, we are awakening and coming back to our God and leaving the gods of the nations and coming back to Yahweh. Greetings. Greetings to the 144,000 who are among the 12 tribes scattered into the four corners of the earth, part of the scattered nation of Israel, according to the word, and who are now leading the charge, the forerunners, as it were, of the return of Messiah. Greetings. Greetings to the Gentiles, precious souls coming to the Father Yahweh by the perfect righteousness he offers through Messiah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Greetings. Greetings to the chat. Yacoba, my brother, Ben Israel, sports fan Pronto, sister and brother Daniel, Stephen Kelly, my brother Castle King and family, Isha Shama and Frankie and Ramona, brother Naviska 25, brother Gary Joseph, my brother David Harriet, my brother Akawan Banya, my brother and kinsmen and cousins. Greetings to all of you. We're studying Genesis chapter 16 and 15 today. There's a lot for us to unpack. There's a lot for us to go over. Let's begin. Let's look at it. First of all, where do we start? Where do I want to start here? Because there's so much. I want to begin. Well, there's so much. Let me start at... I'm going to start in the Psalms. I'm going to start in the Psalms, and I'm actually now reading the Psalms. I'm in the Psalms in my annual Bible reading. I'm actually in the Psalms. Just finished Job yesterday or morning, and just started the Psalms last night. And praise the Most High. I love the Psalms as we're now going through our annual reading. I hope that you are going through your annual reading of the word of the Most High, and that the Most High Spirit is guiding you as you go through his word. The word of the Most High, the Bible, the King James Bible, is one of our protections in these last days. Protections, brother. It is the standard for us. The word of the Father is the standard of what is defined as truth. It is the standard of what is defined as history. It is the standard of what is defined as righteousness. It is the standard of what prophetic utterance is. And so with all of these things, prophetic utterance, truth, righteousness, history, as you've seen from this week, another attempt by the children of Yafet to change history to favor themselves. The Father has given us his word. And so you compare all things that people are defining as righteous, all things that people are defining as true, all things that people are defining as history from the pages here. It is your safeguard. It is your protector against all falsehood. And again, even built within that, as we know, whenever you see your Father gives you his spirit, you're reading through his word, and you come across something that appears to be a teaching that you didn't know before. Okay. First test question of the day. Here we go. First test question of the day, saints. First test question of the day to my family, Israel. All right, cousins. First test question. You ready? Here's the test question. You reading through your word. You prayed to your Father. His spirit is guiding you. You can feel his spirit opening your mind. Some of you already know what I'm talking about. So you come across something that appears to be a teaching that you weren't aware of. Of course, all of us are going through, a path of learning and unlearning. Stephen Kelly, all right. All right, Stephen Kelly. Yes. So you come across a doctrine and you say, oh, I never knew this before. It seems to be saying X, Y, and Z. Well, how do I know? Well, you must get 2 or 3 witnesses to bear witness about what you are saying. Or somebody comes at you with a doctrine and says, this is what the Bible says, this is what it means. What you're looking for, brethren, is 2 or 3 witnesses. Of course, let's go to the extremes, right? So the brethren that will tell you that we really only read 5 books, the books of Moses, that's it. Well, you know that that's not 2 or 3 witnesses. Those all represent 1 witness. It's then you have our Christian friends who will always tell you the New Testament is what is that. The Old Testament's done away with. Okay, fine. Bring me 2 or 3 witnesses. They will, of course, come with 3 Pauline quotes, but they will not give you 2 or 3 witnesses. You need 2 or 3 witnesses for every doctrine to be established. Praise the Most High. Y'all passed the test very, very, very well. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High for all of you who have been paying attention and studying the word of the Most High. So here in Psalms, I could start in a lot of places. You can see I didn't know where to make up my mind where to start today. But I'm going to start with Psalms, and I'm going to begin with Psalms 1. I'm going to begin with Psalms 1, the very first Psalm. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Now, of course, we can't read about being godly and ungodly, as important as it sounded here, without understanding what the Bible tells us ungodly is and what godly is. It does tell you. See, here's another thing. I'm not going to give this to you all as a test question, but look, you got your dictionary, right? You got your Strong's Exhaustive Concordance to tell you your Greek and your Hebrew, right? You also got your English dictionary. If you're coming from English, you will know. But the best real dictionary, honestly, if you can get it, is to find the Bible's definition of stuff. See, when the Bible defines something, now you got a good definition. So you're looking to see what the Bible defines as something. So what you hear people say, if you ask 10 Christians, what's the gospel? Most of them will tell you this. Tell me if I'm wrong. They'll tell you it's the good news. What's the good news? That Jesus loves you and he died for your sins. That's the good news of the gospel. Problem with that is that that's not what the Bible says the gospel is, right? The Bible has a definition of the gospel, which we know. Okay. And most Christians read it and still don't know that that's the definition. Isn't that sad? That's what happens, brethren, when you're brainwashed. When you're brainwashed, you could look straight at something and not understand what you're looking at. When you're brainwashed, you could see planes flying into 2 buildings and see the buildings drop flat like free fall. And somebody can tell you, it was the planes that knocked them over. Because you're brainwashed. When you're brainwashed, you can see a whole building destroyed in half. And they tell you it was a van parked 100 yards away that destroyed the building. When your mind is telling you there must have been bombs inside the building. When your common sense is telling you the way them buildings fall, it was like a controlled demolition. But when you're brainwashed, you can look straight at it and not see it. Isn't that amazing? So that's why we need Bible definition. Psalms 32, as Brother Naviska so well just alluded to. Psalms 32. Right. Where another building several blocks away falls straight down, and they tell you because the earth shook. And you're brainwashed. So if somebody tells you, no, that building was a controlled demolition, you're now a conspiracy theorist. That's what happens when you're brainwashed. So when you're brainwashed, you can read the Bible, and in your mind, when you pray to Jesus, you're praying for this white man that looks like he got blue eyes and he got long hair and he just loves everybody. That's what you're looking at when you look at the New Testament. You can't see him as a Hebrew. You don't even know what that means because you've been brainwashed. So you can look at the Bible definition. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of Yah. You can't even see the Father in it because you're looking at white Jesus. It is the power of Yah unto salvation to all that believe. To the Jew first. Oh, you got to forget that one because there's no such thing as, we're spiritual Jews, they'll tell you. To the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For therein, and here is the point, therein is the righteousness of the Father, Yah, revealed from faith to faith. But you can never see that. You can't even see it because you've been brainwashed. And you don't even know the definition until you're looking right at it. It's amazing, isn't it? Psalms 32, beginning at verse 1, is going to define for us what godly is. See? It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scornful. But their delight is in Yah's law, and in his law, his teaching, his wisdom. Do you meditate day and night? Psalms 32, beginning at verse 1. Psalms 32, beginning at verse 1, is going to explain to us what godly means. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man to whom Yahweh imputeth not iniquity, in whose spirit there's no guile. No guile means no deceit. That means you're looking for truth, honestly, earnestly, truth, regardless, right? No guile, no deceit. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. That's called conviction. Day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture was turned into the drought of summer. I acknowledged my sin unto thee. Mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto Yahweh, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin. For this shall everyone that is godly pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. For this what? Forgiveness of iniquity. Godly people have the forgiveness of their iniquity. You see, godly people commit sin. But the difference between the godly and the ungodly is the godly admit to the Most High, I committed sin, and I need your forgiveness. That's the godly. And the Father forgives them, and he doesn't impute their sins unto them because they have asked him for forgiveness. And because of his grace, they know they've been forgiven, and they move forward in Father's righteousness. That's the godly. So therefore, for us to be godly, we have to acknowledge that we are sinners and that we need the Father's forgiveness. We confess, because notice what he said there. When he kept silence, his bones waxed old. In other words, he was being convicted. You see, brethren, when the Father loves us, we can't get rest unless we confess to him. We need to come to him. And listen, let me just be clear. Don't go to no confessional booth and talk to no man on the other side that's just as big a sinner as you. No, you do what the Messiah taught us to do. You go to your closet by yourself in secret and you confess to your Father who you really are. Don't hide it, because he already knows. Confess to him what you really did. And ask for his forgiveness and his grace. And always remember that, so that you never judge nobody, because you know you. Wait a minute. Verse 7. Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way that thou shalt go. His father talking now. I will guide thee with mine eye. Be ye not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come near thee. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in Yahweh, mercy shall compass him about. Be glad in Yahweh, and rejoice, ye righteous. Shout for joy, all ye that are upright in heart. Yes, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Yes, Job found out. He said, where's wisdom to be found? Where is the place of understanding? And what it killed me, when you read that, that's in Job 28. When you read that, he goes through a list. He say, death and destruction say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. Death and destruction don't know nothing about wisdom. He said, wisdom is the fear of Yahweh, and knowledge of the holy is understanding. Studying the Father is wisdom, because his spirit will guide you in decision making. Of course, you all know this already. We don't make any decisions without the guidance of our Father. That is wisdom. We're seeking understanding, and we consult with him who is understanding and wisdom. We consult with him who is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. So we come to Father Yah. We ask for guidance, acknowledging that he is the wisdom. And that's success through life. Get you to where you can stand before the Messiah in the kingdom. Praise the Most High. So what does this have to do with Abraham? Well, for Abraham to be godly, he has to fit this description. He has to fit this description. It's the Bible description. Abraham was godly. Abraham sought the counsel of the Father Yah. Abraham believed the Father Yah. Believed his word. Believed by faith. He that cometh to Yah, of course, we know, right? Must believe that he is, he exists, and he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. You don't seek the Father in vain when you're seeking his wisdom and his guidance, when you're seeking his counsel for your life. You will never be seeking him in vain. He will guide you. You may not like, or you may not expect the way he guides you, but he will guide you. As Abraham, he said, go to Canaan. Take you and your trained crew and your wife and your nephew and go to Canaan. I'm going to give you that land, and I'm going to make you a nation over that land. And of course, we know Noah prophesied, blessed be the Most High of Shem. Canaan shall be his servant. So he said, go to Canaan. I'm going to give you that land. Walk all over it. Walk it. It's yours. Imagine that. He walking on land. It's not just one little parcel. It's not just a few acres. It's a nations. In fact, at the time, 7 nations was in that land. He said, I'm going to give you all these countries. I'm going to give them all to you. Praise the Most High, brethren. You know what? Because the earth, as we are now sitting here today, they've forgotten that. Or they think that the Ashkenazis from Europe are the people that's supposed to take it. And we know it's not, for the mere fact that if the Father gives it to you, right, all enemies will be destroyed. See, there won't be no Palestinians fighting. You won't need financial aid from the United States and the UN if the Father. Let me ask you a question, brother. When our cousins, when our fathers went into the land of Canaan, did they get financial aid? Did they have Egyptians' armies backing them up when they took the land? Did they have to make peace treaties to take the land? No. And so, brethren, when Messiah comes and gives us the land, as we talked about last night, there's going to be a violent revolutionary overthrow. The revolution will not be televised. It will not be televised. As Gil Scott-Heron said very well, the revolution will not be televised. Won't be no television taking record of this. And we won't need no United Nations. Matter of fact, there will be no United Nations. United Nations will not exist. There'll be no United States. Do you realize that once Messiah returns, things will not exist anymore? There'll be no more United States. There'll be no more Russia. There'll be no more England. There'll be no more Africa. There'll be the earth. And it will belong to the saints given from the Father. And Messiah will be king, and the capital will be called New Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. This old earth will be completely done over. See? And there will be nations now, but they'll be new. Praise the Most High. There will be nations. The Bible says it. So what we're seeing now, what exists now, it's crazy to say, but it's all temporary. The whole world order is temporary. And anything that man creates as part of this world order that we now have will soon not exist. Isn't that crazy though? When you think about it, all the things you see here won't exist. There'll be birds, there'll be trees, there'll be grass, and there'll be land, and there'll be people. But the order of this world will no longer exist. There'll be no Christianity. There'll be no Islam. There'll be no Ashkenazi Judaism. None of it will exist. There'll be no white Jesus. There'll be no Pope. After this Messiah returns, none of it will exist anymore. There'll be no United Nations. There'll be no more New York. There'll be no more Washington, D.C. There'll be no more Moscow. None of them will exist anymore. There'll be land, and that land will be given to the saints and will spread over the earth. As we read, when we read, it was Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and the Bible said by them was the whole earth overspread. Well, brethren, all the redeemed saints that are going to be resurrected, like Brother Tav, all of the redeemed saints that are alive, and the ones that are saved with us from all times, from Adam until now, the earth will be overspread with us. There'll be no more fights over religion or over money. There'll be no more people wanting to take power from other people. Everybody will be at peace. It'll be a new existence. It'll be a new order, the real world order. Now, the chosen family started here in Genesis chapter 15. So let's go. Genesis chapter 15. Genesis chapter 15. So now Abraham, he was promised. Let's go back to chapter 11. Or is it 12 or 1? Let's go back to something we just read, just by way of quick review. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 12. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 12. And let's just by way of quick review, okay? Because this is how it all started, brethren, in terms of the chosen nation. Because we talk about chosen nation. Here in Genesis chapter 12, let's read from verse 1 and go down to verse 4. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 through 4. Now Yahweh had said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee, make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Now, and so Abraham departed as Yahweh had spoken unto him. And Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Even in that time and age, after the flood, 75 was for an old man. Okay. Abraham ended up living to be 175, but still 75 was for an old man. Okay. It was no longer pre-flood when people was living 900 years. People were now shrinking, their ages were shrinking, and now Abraham was an old man. When the Most High said, leave your kindred, leave your country. Let me just say this quickly, and I think you all already know this. We've talked about it before, and some of you are already experiencing it. See, brethren, to the Most High, there's no boundaries on the earth. See, man has made boundaries, right? So you got geographic boundaries made by man that separate nations, right? It's always been that way. So you got geographic boundaries that separate nations. But in terms of the Father and us, his chosen people, he don't care about that. Okay? So a lot of us are being called from, say, like the United States. Some of y'all are experiencing this already. You're being called. And even within the United States, myself, my wife and myself, we've been nomads our whole marriage. We got married in 84. We were both, we both met in New York City. And in 88, we left to go to Connecticut. And in 2001, we left Connecticut to go to New Hampshire. And in 2006, we left New Hampshire to go to Roanoke, Virginia. And then in 2012, we left Roanoke, Virginia to come to Northern Virginia. And then 2022, we leave Virginia quickly now. And here we are outside of Orlando, Florida. We've been nomads for 39 years. And every move, I'm telling you, I'm not even joking, every single move, the Most High said, leave and go here. Every single move. And we look back and we can see now as we look back, there was a purpose for every move. Like, for example, I would have never left New York City. My wife hated New York City. She was born there. She hated it. I would have stayed there until now. I did not want to leave. But the Father knew it would be for my eternal benefit, spiritually, both of our benefit, for the children we would have, which we didn't have then, that we would have. It would be better for them that we take them out. And we did. We didn't know that at the time. We just knew he was moving us. Okay. Then from New York City to Connecticut, from Connecticut to New Hampshire, 500 acres, 500 people in the whole town. We was up there with a bunch of Japhet, and they was wondering, and we was wondering what we was doing there, but we knew the Father brought us there. My point being is that, brethren, all of us, or let me not speak for everybody, that's not good, but let me just say this, a lot of us will be moved to different places. Okay? And we've already had dreams of being outside the country. We know we're going to be moving outside the country. Where exactly, we don't know. We've checked out places. And this is the thing, brothers and sisters. I could tell you for my own experience, my wife and I have always looked at other places. When we was in New York and we knew the Most High was moving us out of New York, we was looking at Colorado and Oregon, and we was looking all over the place, not knowing where we were going. Well, sure enough, we went right to Connecticut. When we went to Connecticut, we was looking at places in the different spots of Connecticut, and he bring us to where he wanted to be. And then all of a sudden, New Hampshire, out of nowhere, New Hampshire. So we would always, all of these times, we'd be looking at different spots. Oh, where are we moving to? Where are we going? Because we knew he would be moving us, and it'd be someplace we weren't. So here we go. I'm looking in Mexico, Costa Rica. I got a friend, he built a house in Costa Rica, and he invited us to come there. And I haven't, but I'm waiting on the Most High. Panama, Ecuador, Colombia. I got one of my best friends. I've known him for 30-something years, 35 years. Built 2 houses in Ghana. Say, come on, Ghana. And I'm waiting for the Most High. My cousin just called me the other day. He's retiring. And his wife is from the Philippines, and they're going to the Philippines. Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, the whole earth. I have no idea. You understand? And some of you don't know either. But it's part of these last movements. Some of us he's going to have right here in the United States in the thick of this mess. And that's cool if that's what he wants. Some of us going to be foot soldiers for him in the thick of this mess because it's going to get thick right here. Listen here. You cannot start a nation based on Hebrew blood. That's what they did now. They started a nation based on Hebrew blood. When they were finished with us, they trying to tell us we don't want you here no more. After we built the place. Didn't want to pay us. Still don't. But we built the place for them. Okay? After they kidnapped us. We the only people that was enslaved on American soil. Do you realize that? There is no other people that have been on this land, that have been enslaved in this land, but us. Some of us are going to be here because you know what? The country's got karma coming. They got karma coming. Okay? There's no doubt. I'm not trying to prophesy and tell you what something that's not already or been. They got karma coming. Okay? It's coming here. It's coming here. These people are going to catch hell. There's no doubt. Okay? So some of us are going to be here in the middle of it as foot soldiers. Fine. If that's what the Father ordains for you to do it, obviously. But a lot of us are going to be in other places, man. He's sending us to other spots. Some of us already. There's brothers and sisters that have left and gone to East Africa, West Africa, South Africa. There's people that have gone to South America, to Colombia, to Ecuador, to Peru. There's people that have gone to Panama. There's people that have gone to Costa Rica. There's people that have gone to Nicaragua. There's people that have gone to all of these different places, Mexico, Philippines. People have gone to Malaysia. People have gone to Vietnam. People have gone to Thailand. There's people all over the place right now. This is already happening. Brothers and sisters, some of them going to Portugal. There's people going. And he's already leading us, brother. Just like he did Abraham. He said, leave your country and your kingdom. I'm going to take you somewhere else. And brethren, he's preparing us. He is. All of this walk that Abraham did when he said, I'm going to make you a great nation. There's a promise. See, I'm going to make you a great nation. Well, for us, he don't need to make us a great nation, brethren. We're already a nation. We're just scattered. What he promises us is I'm going to bring you back to your land. Matter of fact, let me just give you a witness to that. You know we got to give you a witness to that. Jeremiah. Love this one in Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 23. Jeremiah chapter 23. Jeremiah chapter 23. Oh, I love this one, man. So Jeremiah chapter 23. And again, this is the new, see, this is the last iteration before the kingdom. So the first iteration, our fathers were taken out of Egypt, and we're going to talk about that. And they were taken to the land of Canaan that was given to us. That's our land forever. I don't care who's on it now. I don't care what they're building. I don't care what they're fighting. The Father says it's our land forever, and it's going to be our land forever. So now we've been scattered because we worshiped other gods, did the foolish thing, worship other gods, right? Send us out of the land. But he's saying, Jeremiah chapter 23, Jeremiah chapter 23, I'm going to start at verse 1. I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 8. Listen very carefully. Please have your Bibles. Look very carefully now. Jeremiah chapter 23 from verse 1 to 8. Let's read. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahweh. That would be your Uncle Toms and your Coons. If you know, you know. That would be your Uncle Toms and your Coons. Okay, there's a lot of them. They're always going to exist. They're going to exist until the whole place is turned upside down and it's too late. That's going to be Uncle Toms and Coons. Okay, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. Those are your pimps out here trying to get money off you. Okay, saith Yahweh. There are a lot of them that exist. There'll be no Uncle Toms and Coons in the kingdom. There'll be no Uncle Toms and Coons in the kingdom. Okay, but they're going to exist all the way to the end. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Most High of Israel against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock, and have driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil you're doing, said Yahweh. See, that's part of the beast and the false prophet. And you remember what happened to them. See, that's part of the beast and the false prophet. Verse 3, and I will gather the remnant of my flock. Remember now, the dragon was wroth with the woman. Remember that? And went to make war with the remnant of her seed. It wasn't no joke. That's what he's saying right here. I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them. See, we're scattered flock. He said, I'm going to gather them out of all the countries I've driven them, and will bring them to their fold, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed. Neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahweh. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will raise unto David, that is the tribe of Judah, a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. This is very important, brethren. When you see him mentioned here, Judah and Israel, we all know because the southern kingdom's Judah and the northern kingdom's Israel. But what we need to understand is when Jeremiah is writing this, there is no more northern kingdom. They were already taken over by the Assyrians. There is no more northern kingdom. And so he's prophesying. And he says, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name, his name, where he shall be called. And here you have, now we talked about, Melchizedek, Malach, Sadak, king of righteousness. Here is Yahweh Sadak, Yahweh's righteousness. This is the name whereby he shall be called, Yahweh's righteousness. Therefore, behold, watch this now, this is important. Behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So we're not saying that no more. Why not? But, well, wait, first, before I continue to verse 8, let me just ask you, here's a second test question of the day. So, he's no longer saying, Yahweh liveth that brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Okay, wait. Y'all ready? Here's the test question. What feast commemorates coming out of Egypt? What feast commemorates? There's a feast. There's 3 feasts. What feast commemorates? That's right, Passover. So it's not saying we won't keep the Passover or we won't remember the Passover, but there's something that's going to be more pressing. And that's verse 8. Now, pay attention. Here's your third test question of the day. Verse 8 references a feast. Watch. But Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. What feast is that? There's another feast. What feast is that one? The first one, indeed, that's right. Tabernacles, that's right. So we're going to be delivered. It's the Feast of Tabernacles. We're going to be delivered from all the countries he drove us out, which we are right now in our enemies' lands. That's what I'm saying. It's all good. There won't be no enemies' lands no more. There won't be no more. Praise the Most High. We won't have no enemies. They will not stand. So right now, he's causing people to leave where they are. Get out from your family's house. Get out from the place you were raised. Get out from the place you're comfortable with. And I'm going to send you to another land. And just like Abraham, it's a test for us to trust the Father. Some of us going to be, like I said, some of us going to be right where we are. Some of us already being moved, brethren. Some of us already being moved. Okay? It's already happening. It's already happening. And it's all for us to trust the Father. Not only that, but we know Father will always lead us. He said it. I'm going to teach you and guide you in the way you should go. Don't be stubborn like the horse or the mule. I'm going to teach you and guide you in the way you should go. He's always going to do that. Praise the Most High. And he did it with Abraham. He did it with Abraham. Okay. Well, I should give you two witnesses, right? Okay. Let me give you a second witness. This is Jeremiah. Let's go to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 36. I need to give you a second witness, right? In the mouth of two or three witnesses. Ezekiel chapter 36. Very easy. Ezekiel chapter 36. Yeah, love this one, man. Ezekiel 36. This is easy. Ezekiel 36 from verse 24 down to verse 30. Man, wait, let me take it down to verse 32 if you don't mind. Yes. Ezekiel 36, 24 to 32. 9 verses. Okay. Here you go. For I will take you, he's talking about Israel. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries. Didn't we just, Jeremiah said the same thing, didn't he? And gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. You don't have a nation unless you got land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you. Baptism. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh, born again in the spirit. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. Righteousness. And ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your most high. And I will save you from all your uncleannesses, and I will call for the corn and will increase it, and lay no famine upon you. And I will multiply the fruit of the tree and the increase of the field, and ye shall receive no more reproach among the heathen. Then shall ye remember your own evil ways and your own doings, repentance, that were not good, and shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for your iniquities and for your abominations. Not for your sakes do I this, not because we're good, saith Yahweh Most High. Be it known unto you, and be ashamed and confounded for your ways, O Israel. Yes, praise the Most High, because of his promise to Abraham. Genesis chapter 15. Genesis chapter 15, in the mouth of two or three witnesses, let every word be established. Well, y'all know I can give you a lot of more, but we all right. We just got two. You know what I'm talking about. We got it down, right? Genesis chapter 15. I mean, I can give you Zechariah. I can give you Zephaniah. I can give you Hosea. I can give you a whole bunch of witnesses. But we got what we need. We just got two today for this particular subject. We got it. Praise the Most High. All right. Genesis chapter 15. After these things, the word of Yahweh came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. Brethren, let me ask you a question. This is something that's rhetorical. I'm going to ask all of you a rhetorical question. Okay? Can you think back in your life when something maybe you knew was the Most High, maybe you didn't, but something led you to make a move, and you made the move and realized if you hadn't have made that move, you'd be in a world of trouble. Something led you to make a move. Maybe you got a dream. Maybe you had a vision. Maybe the Spirit just talked to you and you made this move. And you weren't sure at the time, but you did it. And you look back and you say, man, if I didn't make that move, I'd be in trouble. And it wasn't because you were smart. What I'm saying is something came to you. Something told you. That's what happened to Abraham. See, brethren, Abraham is consciously at this point, he's consciously following the Father. Like he was not like he was like some of us, right? We moved, like I just said, you may not have even known the Father. You may not have cared about no Bible or no religion. You just know that you made this decision. Something happened. and you made a move. Somebody came your way. Something came across the path of your life. And if it hadn't happened, it'd have messed you up. You'd have been messed up. You might not even be here today. And you realize it wasn't because you were smart. It wasn't because you figured it out. No, something happened. Right? Like a gut feeling. Something happened. Well, now, brother, we are consciously seeking to acknowledge the Father. We are consciously understanding he exists and we trust him. We are consciously reading his word. So now he'll give you a dream, a vision, a spirit, and you'll know. Like I'm telling you now. I know we're not going to be in Florida forever. I know it. Limited years. And where we're moving next, I don't know. Just do know that we are moving. And y'all, some of y'all can feel the same way, right? Something's happening. You know, like whatever your situation is right now, it's going to change. You know this. I don't know how, because it's your situation, but you know. And as you're consciously following the Heavenly Father and consciously seeking his spirit and his righteousness, you and him connect. That's why I tell people, brethren, you want to stop me from telling you something. If you're tired of hearing, just say, I'm convicted. Because once you tell me that, done. And you better mean it, because I'm not going to say anything. And that's what I say. When somebody's convicted about something, you move on the conviction, because I take conviction as coming from the Father, from his spirit. So if his spirit is convicting you, I may not like it, or I may disagree with it, but what I think doesn't matter if you're receiving the conviction. That's why it's important that we recognize if it's the Father. Okay? Praise the Most High, man. Praise the Most High. All right. So Abraham received a vision. And this is the thing. Since we've been introduced to Abraham, is Abraham still? Since we've been introduced to him, the Father told him to leave Canaan. Now the Father told him, I'll make you a nation. He's convicted now because the Father's Spirit is talking to him. I'm going to make you a nation. I'm going to bless your seed as the stars of heaven. And so here we are. Abraham has come to the land as the Most High instructed him in the Spirit. And here he is. And here's the Father coming back to him, reassuring him. I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. Shield means in the Bible, it's Hebrew, means protection. And reward means I am your benefit. What? I am your benefit. That's what he is. I'm your reward. I'm your benefit. I'm your payment. I'm your protector and your benefit. Brethren, wow. Reassuring his friend, Abraham. And this is the thing. All of us want to serve the Father. I mean, right? What are we doing, right? You want to serve the Father, right? But even more, you want the Father to say your name and say his servant, right? But you also want him to recognize you like Abraham, you're his friend. Ooh. Man. So how do we know or are convicted? It'll be on your mind and on your heart a lot. It'll be heavy on you. Remember what we read in Psalm 32? He said, day and night thy hand was upon me. Well, his hand will be on you. You'll feel it. You'll know it'll be heavy on you. It'll hit you sometimes like a ton of bricks because you weren't expecting it. Right? So like I said, when we was in Virginia, we rented most of the time. We was there. And we would save our money and get ready to try to buy something, right? And every time, it happened to us 2 or 3 times while we were in Virginia. We would save money to try to buy something, and all of a sudden, one of us would get laid off work. Well, usually me. Get laid off and have to use the savings to live until I got the next job. then start again and save the money and then get laid off again. And then the last time we saved money, and I said, okay, this is the time. I talked to a mortgage person, and this was 2017. Talked to a mortgage person, and they said, yeah, we can get you in the place. Blah, 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 blah. I got to save money. We've already saved the money. So we start looking, and not only did I get laid off, but my wife got laid off. Like both of us, like, no. So we like, okay, Most High not allowing us to buy property. Okay. And we just resigned it. That was it. Okay, we're not buying property. Okay. So we stopped, and we was convicted we wanted to own some, but we stopped. We just stopped. So then come 2020, and for some reason, both of us convicted that we need to move, and we looking in North Carolina. You'll recall. And both of us, I know I was working remotely at that time. My wife was working less than 5 minutes from the house. And so we were looking, and nothing is showing up. In the meantime, the landlords, we have been paying them, we had paid them in rent over $120,000. We knew they bought their second house off of that. They was good, man. We was paying them rent, and we thought like we throwing this money out the window, man. So in the meantime, the landlord redid the whole kitchen of our house, redid it. New floors, new granite countertops, new appliances. And I'm thinking both of us, oh, they're getting ready to sell the place. You know, the market was hot. They're going to sell the place. And they kept asking me and ask, what colors do your wife like in the kitchen? And I'm like, I was a little upset. Why, they're going to sell the place. Why are they asking us what colors we want? Like, that's kind of mean, isn't it? That we don't give you all that money. What colors do you want? And so I'm planning at that time to buy a house the next year. I'm planning to save money, pay off my debts, and come into 2021 ready to buy. These people get on the phone with us and say, we're not going to renew the lease, which I wasn't surprised because I thought they were going to sell the place, but we want you to buy the house. And then they told us the price, which was below market, but we needed like 25 grand, and I'm paying down my debt. I said, we want to come up with 25 grand. But within a month or two, all of it came together. All of it came together. So we like, wait, he was blocking us from buying, but he had us buy that place at that time. And all the door. And that's another way what'll happen. Doors will close and doors will open. So I'm looking at these other houses in the same neighborhood now over the years, and doors kept closing, kept getting laid off. And all of a sudden, this door opens. See that? And we couldn't even believe it because of the times we kept trying to buy in the neighborhood and kept getting laid off. So, and not only that, for several of our moves, we would stay in the place we moved to exactly 5 years. At least 3 times that happened. So, in fact, it was so common that my youngest daughter, when we were in this house in Virginia, she said, okay, it's 5 years. Where's the Most High moving us? But I had gotten a dream. And in the dream, before we moved to Northern Virginia, I was walking through that neighborhood. Didn't know where it was. I was walking through that neighborhood, through that house. Didn't know then. And the angel's behind me. This is a dream now. And he's saying, so how long are you going to be here? That was what he asked me in the dream. I didn't see him. I always can hear him from my right side. So how long are you going to be here? And I thought, why is he asking me that? They always have me here 5 years. Well, we was in that house 9 years. That's why he asked me that. Otherwise, it would have been 5. So he had us buy that house. So then the next year, we're comfortable, bought the house. We did further work on it. We got the floors redone. We did the deck again. We put new doors on. We painted. We did all kind of things. We did all kind of things to the house, right? Redid the bathroom upstairs. And we're all comfortable now. Then I get this phone call. Don, your father's in the hospital. He fell. What? Where is he? I don't know where he is. What you mean you don't know where he is? They took him away. I don't know where he is. I'm calling all the hospitals in Orlando and outside of Orlando. It took me 3 days to find where he was. And then I immediately got a plane the next day and came down here. And the day before, and I told my supervisors everything what happened. The day before I came down here, they laid me off. Sorry, but your position's been not cut and blah, blah, blah. Sorry about your father, blah, blah, blah. And they laid off. It wasn't just me, like 30-something people got laid off. Same day I'm leaving to come down, next day. I didn't care though. I came down here, found my father, and some situations came up, and my dad surprised me. Can you stay? This is all like, that's what I'm saying. Doors closed, doors open. So I said, well, why did we just buy this house in Virginia and fix it all up to move to Florida? But you see, my son-in-law and my daughter was looking for a house and couldn't buy, because at that time, I don't know if y'all remember, just a couple of years ago, every time a house was for sale, some corporation would come in and pay cash. And nobody had a chance to buy a house, especially where we lived in Virginia. Nobody had a chance. And people would just put their house on the market. Some corporation within days would come, boom, cash. So my son-in-law and my daughter was looking for a house. And just to go back a second, when we bought the house from our landlord, they knew if they put it on the market, what was going to happen. They didn't even put it on the market. They told us, we're going to just deal with you. We want you to buy the house. So it never went on the market. No sign ever went in front of our house. We just bought the house. Well, I did the same thing to my son-in-law and my two daughters. We sold it to them. We gave them equity, which is, equity as a down payment. They don't need no down payment because we gave them equity. And then my daddy turned around and said, okay, I'm going to give you the same, not knowing what we did. He didn't even know what we did. He gave me the same gift. He said, I'm going to give you a gift for equity here. And that is the exact same amount, about $100,000. So a door closed and a door open. You want to know when the Most High is talking to you? Watch for the doors that open and watch for the doors that close. All of a sudden, stuff will start closing up and you're wondering what's going on. Look for the open door. The open door is the one you're supposed to walk through. And he will show you. Ask him. Because all the time, when all this I'm telling you, we praying. We praying. Father, what's going on here? What you want us to do? He blocking North Carolina, blocking us from buying anything else. Open the door to buy that place. And then that door was open for our children. Who doesn't want to bless their children? That door was open for our children to buy that house. All of the fixings that we did, they would have wanted done. And it worked out. We redid the bathroom. It was perfect for them. We took up all the rugs and put down hardwood floors. My daughter's allergic to all that rug stuff. No problem. Done. See? So doors, you want to know how? He'll show you in dreams. He'll show you in the spirit. And he'll close doors. When a door is closed, don't fight it. Don't fight it. When the door is closed, look for the one that's open. And it won't be where you think. There is no way in hell I thought we were going to be in Orlando, Florida. There was just no way. My wife and I, at the beginning of that year, we weren't thinking about no Orlando, Florida. I was thinking about new windows. I was like, okay, this year we're going to do the windows. Nah, man. No, you ain't. You coming down to Florida. Shoot. And my father, bless him, he ain't the type to say, I'm leaving this for you, son. That ain't him. He's one of them come from sharecropping Negroes. And it's every man for himself. When I was 18, he said, I don't care if you go to college or not, because I'm retiring. You do what you got to do. That's my father. So for him to say, son, I want you to take over this house. That was the Most High. See, that was the key. And the second key was my wife, who never like Florida. Neither of us was thinking about Florida. So when she came down here and said, I love this place. I was like, what She said, I love this place. That's when I knew. I said, okay, here we are. Here we are. So you want to know? The Father will show you. And that's how he'll show you. There'll be doors closing and there'll be doors opening. You walk through the door that opens, brothers. Right? It will never be what you thought. Don't ever think you know. It will never be what you think you know. That's right. Pio Pio is the selling point. Pio Pio actually was like a comfort, because we had a place that was a mile, maybe at the most 2 miles from our house. It was probably a mile and a half from our house. It was called like Chicken Latino, and we could walk in there and get the best chicken with plantano and yuca that you could ever taste, man. And we go in there and get that all the time. And so we like, dang, there's no Chicken Latino out here, man. And then we found out about Pio Pio. And if you're in Florida, you know Pio Pio makes some good stuff, man. It's some good stuff. Over there in Virginia, it's called, where we were, it was called Chicken Latino. Yeah, and it's right. La Antonic and all of that good stuff here. It's a little bit distance down here, though. It ain't like it was then. You could almost walk to the one we had. You know, it was right there, man. It was right there. But yeah, it's all right. But we got all kind of stuff now. So, but the Most High really, and then honestly, when we came down here, this is the first time. We left New York in 1988. We left as a family. Like I kept working in New York after that, but we officially left New York and moved out in 1988. And that was the last time where we would move somewhere and people we know would be there. Like we would know people there. Every place we moved, we were the only one with strangers and we didn't know nobody. It was always weird like that. When we came down here, you know, I met some of y'all. We met at Pio Pio. I met some of y'all, and that was a confirmation. And then we have family. My wife has cousins down here. We have friends, and I was like, "Wow!" And we both said, "This is the first time." And we started meeting people from New York. Almost everybody we met, you know, was from New York. It's crazy, man. So the Most High confirmed all of this. Well, now I'm telling you, He's already shown us dreams that we're going somewhere else. Okay. I don't know where. It almost doesn't matter. As long as the Father is leading us, that's where we're going, right? So that's what I'm saying. Some of y'all are going to be the same thing. Some of y'all are going to be called away somewhere, you know, and the whole earth is Father's. Don't worry about geographic. It's that don't matter to Him. He'll have you where He wants you to be. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. So now He called Abraham. He said, Abraham, leave. Abraham left. So now Abraham's in the land, right? He's in the land that the Father told him to go to. Now the Father gives him a vision, saying, I am your shield and your exceeding great reward. I'm your benefit and your protector. Okay, so now Abraham's getting that assurance from the Father, but now Abraham is concerned. He left at age 75 with the promise of becoming a great nation. You need children to become a nation. So now he's going to address this. Genesis chapter 15, beginning at verse 2. Genesis chapter 15, beginning at verse 2. This is powerful, from verse 2 to 6. Genesis chapter 15, from verse 2 to 6. Watch this. And Abraham said, Most High Yahweh, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house, this Eleazar of Damascus. So he had servants, and his top servant was Eleazar. And he said, this is going to be the guy that inherits everything, because I ain't got no children. And Abraham said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, this shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said to him, so shall thy seed be. And he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Brethren, this is the whole ball game right here. So Abraham had no physical proof of what he was being promised. He was then 75 years old. He had no physical proof that what he was being promised was going to come to pass, except the word of the Father. And the Father showed him, you're an old man, but look up there. You see the stars. Can you count them? No, your seed's going to be like that. And so it says Abraham believed in him. Now, what does that mean? Well, who are you believing? Who is it? You see, brother, one of the tenets of Asatan as the con artist, and one of the tenets of a con artist, is a con artist must get you to trust them. Y'all know what I'm talking about? So if they're going to con you, they must get you to trust them. That trust can come in the form of a story usually, or some game they're running, or some fake situation that causes you to believe what they want you to believe so that you get trust in them and then they can take you. Y'all ever been conned before? You know what I'm talking about. Most of the time, it's a person that gets you to trust them. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's your relatives. It's your own cousins or somebody you know that you trust in. A lot of times also, you know better, but you do it anyway. So in order to trust the Father, you must know him. He's invisible. So now Abraham is being shown by visions, by dreams, by the Spirit, by the word, the promise from Noah that Shem was going to take Canaan's land and then say, I'm going to make you a great nation. In the Spirit, he's being promised these things. He comes now and he says, gives him a vision. Go out there and look at the stars. Spirit, go out there and look at the stars. He looks. Your seed's going to be like that. It's going to come from your own bowel, your own flesh, your seed. And he believed. So now, he that cometh to Yah must believe that he is. Well, what is he? Well, one of the things we know he is righteous. One of the things those of us that know the Father know he is righteous. He's perfect in righteousness. He makes no mistakes ever. He's the creator. He knows the end from the beginning. So those of us that learn to trust in that righteousness, he believed in it. He said, this being will not lie to me. He's righteous. He's telling me this and I'm believing him because he's righteous. And it was counted to him, to Abraham, for righteousness. Now, okay, you're trusting in me. I'm going to make this righteousness unto you. Praise the Most High. And that's what Paul was saying to the Romans. Abraham believed in him and he accounted it because it was trust. He's trusting perfect righteousness of the Father. In order to do that, you must understand your Father is perfect righteousness. If you don't believe that, you can't trust him. And he brings each of us through all of our experiences, doesn't he? Bring us through our experiences. And like I mentioned earlier, you had experiences where you know something supernatural guided you in a decision you made, in a move you made, in something you did, something that wasn't just you guided you. And that move you made, that decision you made saved your life, changed your life. Your life could have been a different spot. And you could look back and say, man, if I didn't make this decision, if I didn't make this move, I'd have been screwed. And that's the same way he's teaching us now. Abraham believed him. And he said, this is righteousness. I'm gonna cover you with my righteousness because you believe it. You trusted in me that I'm righteous. See? Because Asatan calls Father Yah a liar. You shall not surely die, he told Eve. He knows you could be your own God. He's just stopping you. See, that's what the enemies of the Father does. We get deceived and conned into trusting something else, some other God, some other religion, some stuff. But Father is looking for those that want to worship him in the Spirit and in truth. right? So he said, he seeketh such to worship me. Well, here's Abraham. And that's why, brethren, we're going to be redeemed. Why? Because of his promise to his friend. Father never forgets his promise. He never forgets his friends. Doesn't forget his friends. He doesn't. Praise the Most High. And again, all of our experiences, and you all have your own, are designed for us to never doubt his word. Never doubt what his word says. Doubt everything else. Don't doubt his word. Don't doubt everything else. You could doubt everything else. Anytime a politician opens their mouth, anytime somebody says something in the media, anything, you could doubt it. Sometimes they tell the truth, sometimes they not. Most of the time, myself, I start off that they're lying. And then I start to look at the word and see where it fits in. But when I'm listening to media, politicians, and people that run TV shows, whatever, my first thought, I've learned, they're lying. It's okay. Why are they lying? Where's the real agenda? I always think like that. Never trust none of them. Never trust none of them. Okay. And even like in the sports arena, people put out stuff. My first thought, they just made that up. They just made that up. It's crap. My first thought. You got to prove to me otherwise. But when it comes to the word of the Most High, I don't need any proof. It says, okay. Okay. He's going to bring us to our own land. Okay. He's going to cover us with his right. Okay. Got it. I'm in. Praise the Most High. Okay. Man can lie. Father, y'all never lies. Never lies. Ever. Ever. It's opposite. It's anathema to what he is. Okay. And to me, anybody suggesting he is lying, I don't need to talk to you. Go on with your stuff. I don't need to talk to you. Okay. Don't even suggest that the Father. Somebody said, well, King James Bible is no good, man. You got to read what do you call it? He said, you got to read the Septuagint. It's better. There's all kind of errors. There's doctrinal errors in the King James. I said, okay, brother, go on with your Septuagint. Me and you don't need to discuss this anymore. We don't need to discuss nothing. I know some of y'all think that's hard, but that's me. I am so protective of this word, man. You don't know. I'm overprotective of this word. No, if he says it, I'm done. That's it. We don't even need to talk about it. If somebody say, well, if Ellen White says it, what? No. Ellen White, who? I don't read Ellen White in the Bible. What you talking about? I don't need no Joseph Smith. And for you to even suggest something like that to me tells me you, unfortunately, and me are on different gods. I don't need no other book. I got one right here. Read your Bible. Start in Genesis. Go through the Revelation. Do it again. Keep reading. I tell brother I know like that. I know tell me the other day, well, you know, what do you suggest? I said, this is what I suggest, brother. Start in Genesis. Finish in Revelation. When you get done, do it again. And keep doing it until they take your Bible from you. Keep doing it. Don't ever stop. This is where wisdom is found. Praise the Most High. Okay. It is now 1:02. I'm going to take a break and come back to another section of Genesis 15, extremely important section. We'll talk about when we come back in Genesis 15. But this is important, obviously, also. But until we meet again, may the Most High bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you and lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. We'll be back in about 45 minutes. So